Ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, what is poppin' lockin' and what is droppin', baby? Welcome back to the channel, back to the journey, and most specifically to this video. Now today, we're gonna be going over what I eat for this week for weight loss and fitness, as well as showing a couple recipes that I have created. And I'm quite excited for these ones. Now, we're going to start off the morning with a cup of black coffee. This is a hazelnut roast. And then we have this hydration pouch. This is the Gatorade Glacial Freeze one. I just didn't feel like drinking plain water this morning, so figured go ahead and flavor this guy up. Get ourselves all electrolyted up and get this party started. I'm actually pretty excited for this week's meals because I've thought of something that was pretty sweet. I'll go over a little bit of now. So for the first meal, because we're doing 2 meals a day, so we're doing first and second meal. So the first meal is just plain Jane oatmeal. It's like a banana nut oatmeal with protein powder and PB2 or PB Fit powder. Sorry, PB Fit was less than protein. And then I have a apple and then some turkey sausage links with it. So I'll go over that later on. And for dinner, we're gonna be making cowboy potatoes and a chocolate peanut butter pie. So very excited to show you guys what I do for those. So stay tuned and I'll catch you guys on my next meal.
What's going on, guys? This is the 4th week of OMAD, 1 meal a day, 1 day a week. Let me show you what I am having. Look at this cutting board of magnificent food. Starting off with zucchini and squash, Mexican street corn rice with some Taco Bell mild sauce, shrimp, and top sirloin, but this is Brazilian steakhouse seasoned. Go ahead and try everything and see how everything tastes. Zucchini, rice with sauce. Good word in my hand. The package made this look a lot better, but it's not bad. I did air fry this, so or a different cooking method, but still pretty good. Last but not least, steak, cooked rare. The redder, the better. Macros in the description below. Make sure to follow, subscribe, do whatever. Accompany in my journey. I'll catch you guys later. Ladies and gentlemen, we are to our first meal
of the day. So let's go over what I got going on. We got an apple here. This is red delicious apples. Really good. They're a little bit sweeter than I guess your normal ones. Or maybe mild, I don't know. I'm not an apple specialist. I don't live in New York. These are absolutely my favorite though. But leave down the comment on what kind of apple or your go-to apple you guys are having. Not very crisp though. Usually they're crispy, but a little dense. Now I got some turkey sausage links here. Same thing we had last week. Usually have 6 of them, but I did have to film for my short. So pretty good in protein. 220 calories with 22 grams of protein. So I believe the serving size is 3 links per serving. So, but these are great. Just pop in the microwave. I freeze them though. I think when you buy them, they're typically refrigerated. But you can also just throw them on a pan, sear them if you get you a better, crispier exterior. But I like these. These are actually my go-to. The Applegate ones are actually better for the protein goals, but they're just a little bit more expensive. So I believe the Applegate ones were 2 sausage links. It was like 90 calories for 11 grams of protein. These are 110 calories per 11 grams of protein. And to end it, we do have some oatmeal here. This is the Quaker brand banana nut quick oatmeal. Just comes in a packet, throw it in the microwave with some water. I do have some PB Fit powder in here, as well as some protein powder, and a little drizzle of sugar-free, 0 sugar pancake syrup. It really helps moisten this because with all the powders in here, it makes it super dry. But if you guys are not familiar with PB Fit, you can find this in almost any grocery store, but this stuff rocks if you love peanut butter. You're on a cut, because what it does, it basically takes the oil out of the peanut butter and puts it into a powder form. And all you gotta do is, I think it's like a serving is 2 tablespoons, and you just add a little water, mix it around, and it turns into creamy peanut butter. Now, if you're more of a crunchy peanut butter guy, like I love crunchy peanut butter, I can't really help you with this. But for creamy peanut butter fanatics, and if you love peanut butter in general, this is a great substitute. And literally all it is, it's roasted peanuts, a little bit of coconut sugar, and some salt. That is it. So it could categorize as a whole food. It's got 60 calories with 8 grams of protein, by the way. It says it right here. If you love peanut butter, I would highly recommend this. You could just throw it in. That's what I did with the pies that you guys will be seeing later on. So I figure I'll just go ahead and advertise this because this is a game changer if you love peanut butter but are also on a cut. Once we go over the macros for my first meal, and I'll show you guys how to make my cowboy potatoes and chocolate peanut butter pie. Get you guys there. Me, oh my, oh me. Ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, let's go ahead and make us our cowboy potatoes. So first thing we need, obviously, are potatoes. Now, simply, all we're gonna do is take a potato and cut it in half, like this. You wanna try to make it as even as you can, but if you're not a perfectionist like me, then yeah, they're gonna come out a little odd, but you wanna cut it, the idea is to cut it directly in half. So I have 3 russet potatoes. 1 serving is gonna be 1/2 of the potato. Next thing we're doing is we're gonna take our potato halves and go ahead and place them on a baking tray. I have some parchment paper just to kind of prevent it from, sticking or whatever. And then I'm gonna grab some avocado oil spray and we're just gonna give it a light coating right on top of the potatoes. What this will do is kind of give it a nice fry aspect to it. Then after that, we're gonna top it off with some Kinder's, the blend. Basically, all this is salt, pepper, and garlic. We're just gonna give these a nice coating when we bake these potatoes. So for the first time ever, on this channel at least, we're actually putting the oven temperature to 400 degrees. Then all we're doing is just sliding in potatoes like so. And we're gonna cook these for about an hour. So, because potatoes take a long time to cook. So, I'll catch you guys back in about an hour. All right, our potatoes are done. We're gonna go ahead and take them out of the oven like so. And this is a good consistency that you wanna see on the potatoes as well. Nice and soft. You can kind of stab them with a spoon. Like that. The next thing we're gonna do, you're gonna be very cautious about this because they are very hot. But you wanna take your potato with an oven-safe glove. And essentially you wanna do is scoop in the potato insides. Like that. Try to get as much as you can. Until you get an empty boat like this. And you're gonna do is the same thing with the rest of these. So we'll come back on the next step. So you wanna scoop all your potatoes and put them into the bowl like so. All right, so we got our scorching hot pan here. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna cook up our turkey bacon. So you're just gonna go ahead and cut this guy into little pieces and put them onto your pan like so. Make sure to break up the turkey bacon as much as you can and let this guy cook. It's light enough where you can just stab it with a spatula and it'll break up into little pieces too. So this is going to be our bacon bits for our cowboy potatoes. Technically it's still bacon, but turkey bacon. So we're gonna go ahead and give this guy a nice little cooking. And then once these are done, I'll report back on the next steps. Our bacon bits are done. To more so help us out with the next steps is we're gonna take all our bacon bits here and we're gonna put them into a large bowl like this, large mixing bowl. Next up, we're gonna take a half a container of non-fat plain Greek yogurt. So this is 32 ounces. We're gonna need 16 ounces of this guy. And we're gonna scoop it right into the mixture. Like that. We're gonna take an entire bag of fat-free mild cheddar cheese. Or for this instance, this is 7 ounces. And we're gonna pour that into here like so. Make sure it's fat-free for your best macros. Finally, I have a mixture of, or a pre-cut container of green onions, which don't seem to be cut that well, honestly, but green onions. Then for seasoning, we're just gonna put salt, pepper, and garlic in here. Like so. And then you're gonna take yourself a spoon and you're gonna mix this guy around. I'm gonna incorporate everything together. So once I get this guy all mixed around, I'll come back with the next steps. Your mixture is all mixed around. Should look something like this. It's okay, it's a little warm. I know Greek yogurt, it's kind of weird mixing hot stuff with Greek yogurt. But if your potatoes baskets are cool enough, you can pick them up by hand. And go ahead and load that sucker up. Like that. You don't want to overload it some too. So if you want evenly distributed amounts, you can always weigh them all, but some of these potatoes are smaller than the others, so just put that in consideration when you make these. But if you want more bang for your buck, you can pat them down. And I actually tore some of my potatoes doing this, so just be cautious when you do these. But we're gonna get them all loaded up. By the way, these are twice baked potatoes too, because we're going to put these back into the oven. So once I got these guys all loaded up, we're going to go on to the next steps. The potatoes are done. This should look like this. We're going to put these guys back in the oven on same temperature, 400, for about 20 more minutes. And after that, this should be done. Next thing we're going to do is making our ground beef topping for our wonderful cowboy potatoes. So I have 3 pounds of 93.7 ground beef. So we can go ahead and add our ground beef to our pan here. Take yourselves some meat masher. Go ahead and mix this guy around some. This is a nice little tool too. I like this thing. It's kind of crazy the difference between grass-fed and normal ground beef. The red is just so ruby reddish. Makes it look a lot nicer to cook. You'll feel a little bit better eating this, you know. We're gonna go ahead and add our salt, pepper, and garlic powder on top, like so. And then we're going to mix this guy around. Now I'll go over the seasonings for when I make this cowboy topping for our potatoes. So let's go ahead and cook this meat up, and then I'll report back when we start adding other ingredients in here. Alright, so our beef is almost done cooking, but while it's like 80% done, we're going to go ahead and add the rest of our ingredients in here. So what I have here are 2 poblano peppers, 2 jalapeno peppers, and a whole red onion diced. If you do not like spice that much, then I would recommend the 2 jalapenos to be replaced with 2 poblano peppers. And then all we're gonna do is just mix this guy together. So next, we're gonna add our dry ingredients slash other ingredients. So we got chili powder here. Add 2 tablespoons maybe. They're all about 2 tablespoons full of. Next I got ground cumin. Got some thyme. Smoked paprika, probably my favorite seasoning. I add a lot of this stuff in here. And last but not least, you can use a taco sauce, or if you don't really like that spice feeling, then a tomato paste will work just as fine. But you kind of want to give it that nice, almost like a gravy texture to it. So I pretty much used the entire bottle. And then we're going to go ahead and mix everything together. Mix everything together and let it cook. As you can see here, we have our completed topping for our cowboy potatoes, as well as the potatoes themselves. Go ahead and pull these guys out of the oven. As you can see here, everything's nice, melted, and incorporated. Like so. We're gonna let everything kind of cool off for a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and top it off and give this guy a try. Ladies and gentlemen, we have completed our loaded cowboy baked potato. And my goodness, does this guy look exceptional. We're going to go ahead and actually make our pie filling for our chocolate peanut butter pies. So we're only going to need about 3 ingredients for this. I have 0 sugar chocolate fudge pudding mix, or if you want chocolate fudge, you can do just chocolate. But for our chocolate peanut butter sake, we're going to do this. So we're going to take 1 pouch, and all we're going to do, open and pour. We're going to do that with both of our pouches. Then after that, we're going to add our PB Fit. This is a great alternative for peanut butter if you're trying to watch your calories. Same great peanut butter flavor, just in powder form, so it doesn't have that oil. You won't have to worry about all those calories. As you can see here, 60 calories for 8 grams of protein. Pretty good for peanut butter. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to mimic the peanut butter and the protein. So there's 1.4 ounces of this. So we'll say 2 servings. So that's 2 tablespoons. We'll go ahead and get our tablespoon here. And we want to mimic the chocolate and peanut butter. So a serving is 2 tablespoons per serving, by the way. So actually this is technically 1 serving of PB Fit. And then on the instructions on the box to actually make this, it's 2 cups of cold fat-free milk per packet. So we're gonna need 4 cups of milk total. And then I have fat-free, lactose-free milk here. It'll do just the job. If you have the Fairlife milk, work just as good. That's pretty much the entire package of milk. And then what we're gonna do, take ourselves an egg beater. And we're gonna do is take ourselves an egg beater and essentially just kind of mix this all together. And then what should happen is when we mix it together, we should get a pudding consistency. So we're just gonna continuously beat this guy together. All right, so we got our pudding mix. It should look like this. Still thick, but also kind of runny at the same time. We got our pre-made crust already. If you guys want the recipe on the crust, I do have it with my cherry lemon pie recipe. So if you're interested in making my healthy crust, feel free to check that out. And essentially what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our pudding mixture and we're gonna scoop it right into the pies. So each pie should have about a 1/4 cup serving of pudding mix, according to the pocket, depending on what size pockets you made for the pies. So we're just gonna put them in like this. My dog is dry heaving over there. I apologize if you hear that. We're just gonna fill these pie pockets like so. And if you get yourselves a nice silicone pan, you can actually pop them right out. Put a little bit more filling over here, actually kind of match the rest of its family. So I think for this, you only need 1 packet, I would say, of pudding mix, but that's essentially it for that. Ladies and gentlemen, we are completely done with dinner and dessert. So as you can see here, we have the loaded baked potato, the cowboy potato, with our meat mixture on top, as well as our finished dessert. We have here is a chocolate peanut butter pie topped with crushed Reese's Pieces cereal. So let's go ahead and get ourselves a bite and see what this hype is all about with this cowboy potato. We got our first bite here. As they say in Francais, a bon appetit. That's really good. The loaded baked potato, exceptional. And I feel pretty good eating it too. Ground beef mixture, nice and spicy. The peppers, the seasoning as well. Very good. Very good. And to quench our thirst, we have a Baja Blast. Zero sugar. Kabu citrus. This is like orange flavor. It's actually really good. Now, dinner was all hype. But let's go ahead and try this chocolate pie, man. Chocolate peanut buttery goodness. Got our first bite of our pie. Oh, it's not focusing, but... It's like they took a Reese's and made it healthy, man. This is exceptional. But ladies and gentlemen of YouTube world, I'm going to go ahead and throw the macros of each right up here. That's it, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube world. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and post the final macros here and over there as well. Without further ado, thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Comment something nice or not nice. We're on the internet, so we got to learn to take it. And if you liking the journey, please feel free to follow. Please share with the ones that want to start their journey, as we're trying to encourage others to start theirs if they want to as well. But ladies and gentlemen, YouTube world, I'm going to go ahead and finish this. Stay disciplined, stay focused, and I'll catch you guys on whatever I upload next. Peace.